Assalamualaikum everyone. Just a quick reminder, just stay on mute till we actually get to the Q&A session, inshallah. So this way there is no disturbance with the audio for anyone who's joining in and listening. And I just want to mention that it's going to be a quick seminar, inshallah. I want everyone to get done within the half an hour. Just a quick rundown of what we will be covering today. We're going to start off with a few introductions. And from there, we're going to switch over to our schedule for the trip. And then we're going to switch over to basically the technology that's involved with the trip. And at the end, we're also going to talk about the current updates, what's going on in Saudi Arabia. And we just want to make sure you're aware of how things are functioning over here. A lot of the things we listen in the news and what's actually going on in the ground over here in Saudi Arabia is much different. So alhamdulillah, we had our team over here since our first group that left on the 13th. We also covered Makkah, we've been in Medina. We have already received over 70 people. So alhamdulillah, we're well aware of what's going on currently in Ramadan, and inshallah we'll give you all that insight at the end. And then right from there, we will jump into our Q&A session, which will be focusing on any questions that you may have. I hope we can move this Q&A session out of the meeting, so this way anyone has any question that's specific to them, just ask it directly from me, or you can reach out to Samiuddin. One of us should be able to answer it for you, inshallah. So without any further ado, I want to get the introductions out of the way. So my name is Harun Hassan, and I basically manage the overall project. So I will be responsible, inshallah, for your transportation, making sure you're getting the room keys, and keeping up with all of our ground staff over here in Saudi Arabia, and all of our group leaders and group facilitators that come from the US to make sure everything that needs to be done, they're informed. So essentially, anything that's happening, it will be inshallah going through me. And of course, we have two more people on the team which are available in the meeting right now. First off, I just want Samiuddin to just quickly come on video and audio so he can do his introduction. He will be your group leader on this trip. So inshallah, if Samiuddin can come on audio and video and just show himself so everyone is aware that he will be at the airport.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Samiuddin Hassan. I will see you at the airport. As soon you enter from the gate, I will be standing on the right-hand side on Terminal 1, JFK Airport. Everybody hear
it? Can you turn on your camera so people can see your face so they can recognize you easier at the airport?
Okay, camera. Okay, hold on.
Camera. Oh, sorry. Yeah, the camera is on. Okay, again, this is Samiuddin Hassan. Inshallah, I will see you at the airport. When you arrive at the JFK Airport, the first gate you enter, I'll be there right-hand side, inshallah. Okay?
All right, thank you. So I hope everyone had a good look at Brother Samiuddin. He will be at the airport with everyone. And I also want Sister Rahima to just quickly hop on and just introduce herself quickly, and then we can move on to our next agenda item, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. My name is Rahima. Yeah, I'll be on this trip with you. Without me.
All right, so we're going with seminar. So our first item is our schedule, inshallah. So first things first, everyone please arrive early at Terminal 1, JFK Airport, 23rd April. So it's very important that you arrive early just in case there's any issues, anything we can take care of. We want to make sure we're there at the airport and we can meet and greet you. We will also be providing ihram a little early, but it's better to handle all the issues early than to actually arrive there only 2 hours before the flight. You will be able to check in, but at the same time, any issues come up, you won't have enough time. We have seen people miss their flights time and time because they showed up very late at the airport, and these are full flights. The airlines are looking for reasons to bump off people from that flight. So just keep in mind, these flights are heavy and you want to arrive early at the airport. We do take care of the seat selections to make sure all family members are sitting together. It's still not a guarantee. The airline can sometimes also change your seats as well. So it's always a good idea to arrive early at the airport, inshallah. And just in case they change your seats, you can still get some seats together with your family. So I just wanted to let everyone know that, inshallah. So you leave on Saturday, the 23rd. You arrive into Makkah. Basically, you land in Jeddah, approximately 9:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. It's usually a little bit delayed when it arrives over here. So when you arrive to Jeddah Airport, we have transport for you to bring you to Makkah, inshallah. Excuse me. So when you arrive in Makkah, inshallah, we will have your room keys ready. We will have everyone checked in. And from there, if you choose to do Umrah on your own, you can go do Umrah on your own. There will also be an option to do with the group as well, inshallah. So I do want to back up a little bit. I missed some of the details for the flight. So you will be able to pray your Zohar and Asr before you get onto the flight. The flight does take off at 2 p.m. And you have Zohar time kicks in around 12:30, 12:45. So you can go ahead and pray your Zohar and Asr prayer. You get on the flight. After that, you can basically, in a few hours, if you're fasting, they do have an option. They do go around and ask everyone in the flight whether you're fasting or not, so they can serve your meal after iftar time. So once iftar time kicks in, basically a few minutes before, they'll hand some dates and some water so you can break your fast, and shortly after, they will serve a meal. So that option is there, and then you can pray your Maghrib and Isha, inshallah. Before the flight lands, Fajr time will also kick in, so you will also have to pray Fajr on the flight. They do have a musalla in the back of the plane. At prayer time, you're going to notice people are just constantly gathering together and doing their Jamaat. If you decide to go a little bit early or late, it doesn't matter, inshallah. You will be able to join someone with your prayers, inshallah. So when you go there, just make sure you go perform your wudu, you go there and you just join prayer with the other people who are praying, inshallah. Basically, there are some complications with this because you do need to wear your ihram on the flight before you land. Miqat usually comes about 25 minutes to half an hour before landing. So to beat the rush, you do need to make sure you can kind of squeeze your time back to maybe 3 hours, 4 hours before the flight lands. This way you don't need to run into other people or wait online to wear your ihram. So the process is pretty simple. You go to the bathroom, you change into your ihram, inshallah. Once you change into your ihram, you can go ahead, pray 2 rakats and make your intention once you get closer to miqat. So they will make an announcement on the plane for that. A reminder that I wanted to give everyone, we are not giving ihram belts. So if you require a ihram belt, just make sure you purchase one before the trip. And we don't provide you with the slippers. So what we will be giving you at the airport will be the ihram itself, and we will be giving you one of our Ainul Haramain bags, so it's easier for you to carry things or put your slippers in when you go into Haram. Those 2 items, you will need those 2 items during your Umrah. Just make sure you keep your slippers. This is for males only, by the way. For the women, it's their regular clothing. So the regular clothing for the women is their ihram. So just make sure when you leave the home, just shower. And if you want to put on some ittar or some cologne on your body beforehand, you can take care of that, inshallah. All you're doing on the plane for the men is changing out into your ihram. And you should be good to go from there, inshallah. So you approximately land around 9:30, 10 a.m. in the morning. It takes almost hour and a half to 2 hours approximately to clear your immigration, collect your luggages, and to basically get the group together, load them onto the bus, inshallah, and start moving towards Makkah. Anywhere from 2 hours to 3 hours is the approximate time you should be expecting at the airport. It's completely up to you because you are in traveling if you decide to fast or not. If you do decide to fast, just try to conserve some energy. You will need it. It's not easy travels. You're going to be getting off a very long flight, and then from there, you will still have some time left till iftar time kicks in. Iftar does open over here approximately 6:40, so it is a little bit shorter than what we have our fast in New York. So you arrive to the hotel, inshallah. We get everyone clear, checked in, everyone gets their room keys. Go and rest a little bit. If you have the energy to do Umrah, especially if you're planning to do it on your own, definitely highly encourage that you go on your own. Ramadan is not like the regular time for Umrah where Haram is empty all the time. Haram is actually very full right now. So we want to remind everyone, if you do end up going with the group, it's still possible you may split with the group pretty easily because of the crowd. It's heavily crowded right now. So inshallah, if you decide to go on your own, you can go on your own, especially if you've done Umrah before. And if you decide to go with the group, our usual timings are around 10 and 11. We do change the timing a little bit depending on how many people are going and whether the group is tired. We may give them some extra time, or if the group has a lot of energy, we can even go earlier. So inshallah, everyone will be performing their Umrah with Samiuddin. So we will have all those timings available, and that's one of the reasons why we have the WhatsApp group. If you are traveling with multiple people in your family, we will go ahead and share a link so you can share that link with the family members who are traveling, and they can also be in the group. It's very important that all family members are in the group, because each time you post the update, maybe one person may miss it, or you have a family of 4, family of 3, family of 2. It doesn't matter how big the family is, how small the family is, as long as you have more than one person. If one person misses the notification, the other person still gets it. So we want to make sure you're being notified. We like to post every little update that's going on, any changes that may be happening, maybe some news may affect us during our trip. So that's one of those things where we will let you know. There was some news out earlier in Ramadan that you are only allowed to do one Umrah in 10 days. I was able to take out a permit each day just to check for everyone. So the second day I did take out a permit. You are able to get another permit for Umrah. So just keep that in mind. If you do decide to do more Umrahs, wear your ihram from the hotel, and you can go ahead, take a cab and go to Masjid Aisha, make your intention, pray your 2 rakats, and you can come do more Umrahs. But just feel it out, go through the first Umrah first, because we are fasting and we don't know our energy levels. Maybe you may want to skip 2 days and do more Umrahs, but it's highly recommended that you actually go do tawafs. So coming back to our schedule, so after midnight, approximately after 12 o'clock, you will be performing your Umrah. And from there, your schedule is on your own. The main focus of the trip is to get your ibadats in. Umrah is a individual ibadah, so you can go back and forth, see what you want to do, inshallah, and we can take it from there. I'm going to jump straight to the end of the trip, inshallah, because there isn't much to cover. In Makkah, we don't do the sightseeing tours, and we don't have enough time in Medina to do a sightseeing tour. But I do want to cover the schedule for when we are departing. So the flight from Medina is at 9:30 p.m. So it's an evening flight, which you take to Riyadh airport. And then from Riyadh, you have a layover, and you switch over to the international flight, and you take a flight back to New York, and inshallah arrive back in New York by noontime. So on the 3rd, you will be arriving in New York, inshallah, around noontime. Just keep in mind, we're still trying to follow up with the policies for Zamzam. One of the reasons why we chose this route is because if we did Medina to Jeddah and then Jeddah JFK, there are a lot of issues they're causing from Jeddah airport to take Zamzam. So there's a higher probability that this group will be able to take Zamzam back home by traveling through from Medina to Riyadh. Basically, going through Riyadh gives you that edge as of at this moment, because Jeddah airport, they're still not allowing Zamzam. I'm just letting everyone know so everyone is mentally prepared for this. There's still a possibility we may still have issues with Zamzam. The recommended thing to do is you check in the Zamzam. Normally, they do accept one Zamzam on your domestic flight, but they expect you to put the Zamzam in the luggage at Riyadh airport, because they don't accept the Zamzam separately. So if anyone has traveled before, basically it was you travel from Jeddah, you go to Jeddah airport, you check in your 2 luggages, you check in your Zamzam separately, and you're pretty much good to go, and you go home, you get your Zamzam. But Jeddah is not allowing that right now. So from Medina, it will be the same routine all the way to Riyadh airport. But when you get to Riyadh airport, they consider the Zamzam a 3rd luggage. I don't suggest anyone to, I think they charge $120, $130 to pay that. Just leave a little bit of room, try to keep your luggage a little lighter and some space in there so you can throw in that Zamzam at Riyadh airport and just check it in, inshallah. So I just wanted to clarify that point before we jump into a couple of the next things that we need to talk about. So I do want to pass it over to Sister Rahima so she can talk a little bit more about the technology that's involved with this trip, because it is very important that you are aware what you basically need for the trip to have a smooth trip, inshallah.
All right, well, first I want to apologize. I know I got like kicked off as soon as we were trying to do introduction. So yes, my name is Rahima. I'll be with you on this trip. I'm actually on the ground right now in Mecca, so I'll be here to greet you guys once you guys get here, inshallah. I handle everything from technology needs to anything you might need. So inshallah, I'm really excited to seeing you guys and meeting you in person and getting to know you. But for now, I would love to talk about what our tech needs are going to be for this trip. If you guys have been keeping up with the news that's coming out of Saudi, you might have heard that they're using some apps, some applications to ensure that everything's running smoothly on this end as far as COVID goes. So the first thing that you're going to need for this trip is a working phone. A smartphone, a working smartphone that has the capability to receive text messages and can connect to the internet. And there's like two different ways you could go about this coming from the US. You can either have a phone that you have from the US that's on a carrier that's from the US, so you have an international plan that allows you to have data roaming, right? So you can use the internet here, and you'd be using your regular T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T, whatever, but you have to check in with your carrier and make sure that you have a plan that allows that, so you're not getting hit with any crazy fees. The other option that you could do if you don't want to go for an international plan from the US is to actually buy a local SIM, a Saudi SIM card once you get here. You could get like a pay-as-you-go or a prepaid SIM card once you land here. But one thing I will tell you that you need to make sure of when you get here before you get here and you want to buy that SIM is that you need an unlocked phone. All that means is that your phone should be able to accept a Saudi SIM, and in order to make sure that your phone is unlocked, you can actually go ahead and just call your carrier and make sure, hey, this is the phone that I have, it's on your network, is this unlocked or not? And if it's not, they can actually go ahead and do a quick unlock for you. It really doesn't take that long. They can even do it over the phone or over the web. So the two options that you have for your phone, just to go over that one more time for you, is to bring a phone from the United States on a US plan that gives you international data and texting. Or the second option is to bring an unlocked phone and buy a local Saudi SIM. You cannot use Wi-Fi. You cannot rely on Wi-Fi, unfortunately, because the Wi-Fi is only available in the hotels, and you need to be able to use these apps wherever you go. So these apps can be it's become a little less strict than it was in the past, but this is a changing situation, and if there's an influx in cases, or if they just decide to change the policy, it can change up on you in literally a matter of hours. So we need to be prepared. The policy goes that to enter any grocery store, to enter any shopping center, a restaurant, even the mosque, to be honest, you need to show a app called Tawakkalna, and I'm going to go a little bit more into what the apps are. But in order to show that app, it needs to be connected to the internet. Obviously, if you're outside of the hotel, the Wi-Fi is no longer working, so it's kind of like you need that internet, you need that data. So that being said, there are a couple different plans once you get to Saudi, depending on what your internet usage and your text message usage is going to look like. You have the option to shop around. They have a couple different carriers here that you can look at and look at the different packages and rates that they have going. So it really depends on your needs. You're only here for a short amount of time, so you can decide accordingly like how many GB and stuff you would like for that. That being said, the two apps that you're going to be running, it's good to know them and know how much data they'll be using as well. The two apps you're going to be using are Tawakkalna and Itmarna. All of the links to those apps are actually going to be posted in that WhatsApp group, so super important that you're in there. So the first app that I spoke about, Tawakkalna, it's the app that lets the person checking your app know that you are immune and that you do not have COVID and that you have not been in contact with anyone with COVID. So it's basically, they call it green status on Tawakkalna, and you basically show them, okay, I'm green status, I can come in, right? And if there's any issues, if the person has COVID, their status goes from being green to being red or to being a different color, and that's how they know that somebody is not supposed to be here, and that's how they'll stop people from coming in who have COVID. So obviously we're all good, we all have green statuses once we download the app, but we obviously, in order to do that, need to download the app. So the first thing that we're going to have you guys do, I'll take questions at the end, is go ahead and download the Tawakkalna app. Again, I'm going to put all of those links in the WhatsApp group for you. If you're not already in the WhatsApp group, you can see in the chat, I've left the link. You can join through the link, and in a little bit I'll put up the QR code so you can scan that as well. So that's your Tawakkalna. All you need to do for now is just download the app. If you have an iPhone, you'd get it from App Store. If you have, an Android or Google phone, you get it from the Play Store, and you just download that app. You can't start making an account with them until you're actually in Saudi Arabia. So all you're going to do for now, download it, done. That's the first app done. App number 2 is called Itmarna. I'm also going to be posting links for that inside of the group chat. And basically, Itmarna is the app that you use to get permits. So if anyone's been on Umrah before, you know that usually it's you choose what time you want to go do Umrah, you get yourself ready, and you go perform your Umrah, right? It's not like that so much anymore. It's more like you need to get a permitted time. So you'd go into the app and you'd say, well, I want to do Umrah on Thursday, for example, and then you would click on Thursday, and it'd say, well, on Thursday you can do Umrah at 5 a.m., for example, and you take that time slot, right? And they basically permit you to come in to do Umrah, and they give you a little permit that says you're good to come in Thursday 5 a.m. to perform that Umrah. So this second app, Itmarna, is specifically so you can get those bookings and those time slots. They've been a little bit more relaxed with it in Ramadan because of the crowds, but again, these things can change at any moment, and we want to make sure that we're prepared. If they're asking for permits, we have them. So yeah, that second app, Itmarna, you can go ahead and download it, and you can actually set it up as well. So Tawakkalna, you're only downloading, and we're going to set up once you get to the kingdom. And Itmarna, you're actually going to download, and you can actually start setting up by putting in your personal information. It'll ask you for information like your passport number, your visa number, your name, your birthday, an email, to create a password, things like that. Brings personal information that you would need to put in to make an account with them. And then once your account is set up, you're good to go. You could go ahead and even set up permits for yourself if you'd like, or you could hold off on that until you get here, and we can assist you with that. That's fine. I'm going to have detailed instructions on Itmarna in the group chat as well, but just to make sure that we're all on the same page, I want to review. So number 1, we're coming with a working phone. That can mean either a phone that's working on a US carrier or an unlocked phone that we're going to use on a local Saudi SIM. Number 2, we're downloading the app Tawakkalna. And number 3, we're downloading and setting up the app Itmarna. Those are your 3 actionable steps for today, inshallah, as far as tech goes. I think we're going to hold off on any tech-related questions till the end as well, but I think Brother Harun had something that he wanted to mention.
Thank you, Sister Rima. So we just want to give you some updates on, I know Sister Rima already mentioned a lot of the information, just as a reminder on in Saudi. Medina was pretty simple and smooth. You don't really need any permits. Nobody's checking your tawakkalna to enter the masjid. So you just go ahead, you just walk in normal, like how we used to walk in pre-pandemic. The Riyazul Jannah permits, they still show up in Itamarna. You cannot book anything, but you essentially are kind of like on your own how you were before the pandemic. There is no time slot that you book. You just go in, and if Allah makes it easy, you get in very easily. Sometimes you have to wait a little bit, but you're able to get in. And the information we were able to gather in Medina is basically for women, the easiest time to go is they go into Haram for Fajr, and they try to get in from after Fajr all the way till 11 a.m. They do end up dedicating the entire Riyazul Jannah location just for the women. So it's that those are one of the best time for the women to go. For the men, they're saying early morning hours, so like suhoor time, like you're looking at around 2 a.m., 3 a.m. So maybe you can try and then go get your suhoor, or you can actually do your suhoor because the hotel in Medina, actually, a lot of us won't be in Medina because we may actually be there on Eid day. But you can definitely try. Like the best time is at nighttime, inshallah. So we will be giving you more details once we're here. Makkah has been a breeze as well, even though we want you to have the Umrah permits because we don't want anyone to be stopped. So when we went with the group, no one looked at the permits. We all had our phones in our hands. We were ready to just open the app and show them the permits. They just look at whether you're in Ihram or not. As long as you're in Ihram, you're good to go, and they let you in. But Of course, we don't want to make that risk. We don't want to take that risk. We want to make sure that everyone has a working permit. You don't get it for the specific time slot. You can think for a couple hours after, a couple hours before, just in case they ask you. Because if they ask you, you can just show that and you can go ahead and enter. They do kind of move a lot of the crowds on the second floor. So when you do come in, inshallah, it's much easier. We can explain the stuff. We will also post the best route to kind of go into Haram if you do decide to go on your own, inshallah. So you're going into the Mataf area closer to the Kaaba. A lot of things are still closed off like they were before, but some changes have been made in Makkah. So before they had the whole area, basically the circle they had set up like a boundary for the middle. They wanted people to stay a little bit away from the Kaaba, because the middle area was dedicated more for elderly people. They did remove that. You are able to get much closer to the Kaaba, but Hatim is still off limits, the semicircle area where a lot of people try to go and pray. Hajar Aswad is still off limits. You cannot go and touch the Kaaba. All those things are still off limit. And hopefully, inshallah, by the time everyone comes here, because they are removing a lot of these restrictions slowly. So hopefully by then, inshallah, they remove all those restrictions, and you're able to do even your regular tawafs from downstairs, not just for Umrah, because the regular tawafs, they are done from the upstairs floors. And like I said, permits are kind of like a thing of the past. They already removed tawaf permits as well. The prayer permits that were in place for Makkah, they're removed as well. You need your tawakkalna to enter into Haram. And of course, we want everyone to be prepared just in case they may ask you tawakkalna anywhere. But alhamdulillah, so far, we have not needed to take out our phone for tawakkalna and show it anywhere. So we're hoping the same thing happens with everyone. Even if we activate it, we still, things are eased up, but we still want you to be prepared just in case. So you do need your electronic devices with you. And that's one of the reasons Sister Rahima was mentioning, it's a better idea to have a internet connection. Make sure you have a phone that can receive messages as well. They are switching the system over a little bit. We have noticed plenty of people are getting their authentication codes on their email. So please, when you do sign up for Etamanna, use an email that you have access to on your phone. I know a lot of the times we may be using work emails or any alternative email that, this is not one of those things where you just want to put an email where you want to receive all your junk mail or you think they're going to send you any emails. Only thing you're going to receive from them is codes or recovery for your account. And we did have some people from November who were repeats for Ramadan group, and we were able to recover their account. But when you're making your new accounts, please use an email and a phone number that you have access to. And you can use your phone number from the US when you're signing up for Etamanna. You don't need to use any other numbers. So just make sure when you're signing up for your Etamanna account, you're using that information in an accurate manner, so you can have ease of access to your app, because sometimes it will just log you out. Let's say an update comes in, it will log you out, and you do need to put in your information in order to log in again. So just a reminder on all those things, inshallah. We do want to open it up for Q&A, inshallah. And if anyone has any questions that are not related to the things we covered, we highly suggest to reach out to one of our team members directly rather than putting the question over here. I know iftar time is also getting close in New York as well too, inshallah. So just keep in mind, we want to keep it short. I know some of us may be preparing for iftar as well. I'm seeing a question in the chat, so I'm going to start taking those first before we jump in on audio, inshallah. Just give me a second. So T-Mobile has a 10-day plan of unlimited talk to 210 countries and text to 5 GB high speed, 35 also. There are plans available out there. We do want to make sure you ask the carrier before, because sometimes those are only valid from within the country. So you may just be in the US. But generally speaking, T-Mobile does cover unlimited text. They charge you, I believe, about 20 or 25 cents a minute for a call. And they do give you low speed data for free, which is covered. But of course, it's still always highly recommended that you have a good working data. Can we use iMessage through Wi-Fi? You will be able to use iMessage through Wi-Fi. That's not a problem. But we're not more concerned about what you're gonna get in the hotel through Wi-Fi. We're more concerned, you may be trying to enter a shop, or any rules may change, and you need to pull out your Tawakkalna app and kind of show it to someone in order to enter a place. We want to remove that headache before before it even comes up. So we want to make sure everyone is well prepared. There's also a question on Saudi SIM. So the Saudi SIM is not mandatory. We can use them. Of course, this is why previously, before basically February and previous months when we took groups, a Saudi SIM card was required, because Tawakkalna will activate on a US number while you have your roaming, because they were sending out the text messages. But for some reason, you were not able to activate your Itamanna without a Saudi phone. But those restrictions, those complications are not there anymore. You are able to activate it on a US number, which you will be able to do, inshallah, hopefully before you leave. Sister Rahima will be posting the detailed instructions and all the links once we're done with the meeting, inshallah. So everyone, will have it available. And I have another question. Yes, available. I'm going to. Okay, perfect. So the brother mentioned something that they do. It sounds like a pretty good plan. If you have T-Mobile, this is a really good option you can actually take. I think it's a beautiful option. For $35, 10 days, you get unlimited talk, which will pretty much rack up to more than $35. I probably spend more than $35 since I reached here on my T-Mobile. So if you want to go with that option, just call your carrier and go ahead and activate it, inshallah, whichever one works best for you. A local Saudi SIM will probably end up costing you around $42 anyways. And that will give you about, I think that they usually split up the data in a very weird way. It's like 10 GB on social media, which includes your WhatsApp tool. And then you have about 10 or 15 GB that they give you for regular usage. So definitely go with your needs. And it's always better to have a US data plan, because you can still make WhatsApp calls. On a Saudi data plan, you will not be able to make WhatsApp calls. So inshallah, I want to open it up on audio, because the meeting will end in 4 minutes. I want to make sure we can get any of the audio questions done before we end the meeting, inshallah. So anyone who wants to get on audio, inshallah, we are ready to take those questions.
Okay, can I go ahead?
Yeah, you can go ahead, brother. I'm listening.
Okay, two simple questions. One is, if we don't have all the technology that we just spoke about, someone, maybe an older person or so, how would they be managing?
Brother, basically the setup and the app assistance, we're here. That's what we're here for, inshallah. So we would still expect you to have a working phone and a SIM card if you will need it. So we are here to help you out. We want to make sure that your trip goes smooth as possible.
Person who don't use a phone or something is in the group, maybe coming.
I will just give a scenario. I'll give you a couple of scenarios actually, because we had this group. Not even someone who has issues using the phone. We had a family of 5 people, and they thought one phone will work for the entire family. They had to come and purchase 4 phones from here. So if you just have a phone laying around, carry it from there. I don't want it to be where you go to Haram and you don't have it available. This is for everyone, by the way. We don't want you to be sent back and then we go, we're looking for a phone to purchase for you, then a SIM card. A lot of these things is much easier if they're taken care of in a particular order. So if you're using the roaming, it's taken care of from the US. If you're trying to get a SIM card here, it's taken care of at the airport. I'm not gonna say that it's not required. It's definitely required, because the government is still requiring you to have permits. They're just letting people slide through because they're not as strict as before. But you never know what may change. So this is something that I would highly recommend everyone don't take the chance.
And the second question is, I noticed that when you finish the Umrah and you want to just go back just to do Tawaf, you have to put on back your ihram to get in there, or you can go with regular clothing?
Brother, you can do it in your regular clothing as well. It's not an issue. But you won't be able to go in the mataf area, as I mentioned previously. So yeah, you will need to go make your intention for Umrah, and then you will be able to get back in the mataf area to go do your tawaf and finish your Umrah, inshallah.
So you can't do that extra tawaf after the Umrah and all that?
Not in the mataf area. Not in the mataf area, unfortunately. You have to go to the second floor.
At the second floor. Okay.
to the second floor.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Is there any other questions before we end off the meeting? Because we want to make sure we can get the recording up as soon as possible, inshallah.
Are the face masks required?
All right, Jazakallah khair everyone for joining. We are looking forward to serving you when you arrive in Saudi, inshallah. I'm sorry, I think there's a couple of messages. National, we will post the instructions. You will get a detailed instructions how to activate it. So please don't worry about that. And we will give you all the details for the trip as well. I wouldn't worry too much. The main thing is we want everyone to activate at the Madinah on their own so we can start focusing on the other things, inshallah. And you have more than enough time to do Umrah maybe 4 or 5 times. There's plenty of days in Makkah, inshallah.
Assalam, brother. The sister was asking if the face masks are required.
They're pretty light on that, but I still recommend keeping a face mask with you. I went to Haram, I had my mask down the entire time.
Okay, real quick. Also, if on the carry-on luggage, you can put all kinds of stuff, like if you want to bring canned coffee and stuff like that. Is they have problems with that or no?
I recommend keeping it in your luggage. That's something we won't be able to advise you. You want to follow up with the TSA website because those rules change too pretty frequently.
Oh, Jazakallah khair.
Yeah.
So
Any
for the
other questions, inshallah, reach out to us directly on WhatsApp, inshallah, and we will be able to help.